Three journal prompts that is guaranteed to help to improve your execution. So I've been a therapist for quite some time now, and as a result, I know a lot of techniques to help people get from where they are to where they want to be. And a lot of these techniques I personally use in my own life. But there's one technique that I didn't use a lot, and I actually started to see the benefits as of recently because I've been journaling a lot of things, and it's obviously journaling. Journaling was something that I very rarely did. I always came up with some excuse as to why I didn't have time to do it. And I always said, well, I could just think about it, right? But here's the thing about thinking about these journal prompts or journaling rather than writing them down. When you write it down, it makes it real. It's there in your face. And when you go back to it 5 months from now, even 5 years from now, it's there and it's going to help remind you of where you were versus where you are now. And ever since I started to journal, I started to see some huge benefits. Even the idea of just simply journaling my goals has been something that's really big. And that's something that I'm having a lot of my clients, actually all of my clients, do right now, because at the time of this episode, we're at the end of the year. We're at the end of the 2023 year. And as a result, I had them write letters to their future selves because I want them to come to the end of next year seeing what they've been able to accomplish. And I think that's just a great exercise, if you will. So what I'm gonna do in today's podcast episode is that I'm gonna do 3 journal prompts with you. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab a pen and paper as you listen to this episode. This is gonna be a very different episode from previous episodes because I want to engage with you. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna spend about 3 minutes, all right? We're not gonna spend a lot of time, but we're gonna spend 3 minutes going over 3 journal prompts. And these journal prompts, again, they're designed to help you to improve your execution because when it comes to the goals, everybody knows how to come up with a goal, but very rarely do people know how to execute on those goals. Just the other day, I had a thought come across my mind, and as a therapist, entrepreneur, coach, marketer, I have an eye for content. I have an eye for things to produce. And one thought that came across my mind was this: no one has a problem with having millionaire type desire, if you will. But a lot of people have a problem with developing a millionaire type of execution or discipline, if you will, right? Like everybody can come up with like the goals and everything like that, but your ability to execute on them is really what separates you from the 99%. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. So again, I want you guys to grab a pen and paper as you're listening to these journal prompts. Now, if I caught you while you're at the gym, or let's say you're driving and you don't have a pen and paper with you, as I give you these journal prompts, I do want you to reflect on them, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this live, okay? I'm gonna take 3 minutes, okay, 3 live minutes, and I'm gonna journal my journal entries, and I'm actually gonna share these with you because I do want you to see that I'm being vulnerable and I'm right there with you as we do these techniques, okay? Because again, it's not that I give these techniques and these strategies, but these are things that I personally use in my life. Therefore, I can attest that they work. So again, if you're driving, if you're exercising or something like that, take a moment to mindfully reflect on what you would write for these answers, almost like a form of meditation. And then when you get home, when you get to your office, I want you to take out pen and paper in just 3 minutes. I want you to answer these, okay? So here's the first journal entry. So the first one is all about identifying limiting beliefs. And what you can do right now, and I'm gonna do it with you. I'm doing this live. I'm gonna write down identifying, okay, limiting beliefs. And what I'm gonna do, or what I'm gonna have you do, have us both do, is we're gonna answer these questions here, okay? So the first question is, what beliefs about yourself may be holding you back in your career or in your business, okay? And just start off by writing some almost in bullet points, if you will, if you want to do it like that. So what beliefs about yourself may be holding you back in your career or your business? And this will be a 3-part question, okay? So let's take a minute for each of these parts. All right, just another 30 seconds. What beliefs about yourself may be holding you back in your career or in your business? If you don't have anything to write, you can also do this in your cell phone. Okay, you can go to the notes section of your phone. All right, another 10 seconds. All right. So the second question is, how do these limiting beliefs hold you back? How do these limiting beliefs hold you back? All right, another 30 seconds. And there's no pressure if you find yourself running out of time. If you would like to hit pause and continue to think, please feel free to do that. All right, and then the last one. Think of a time when you successfully challenged and overcame a limiting belief. And I want you to answer these questions. What steps did you take? And how can you apply those lessons to the current beliefs that may be stopping your progress? So think of a time when you successfully challenged and overcame a limiting belief. So figure out that time. And then ask yourself, what were the steps you took? And how can you apply those same lessons, those same steps to the current beliefs that may be stopping your progress, the current beliefs that you just wrote down? All right, another 30 seconds. All right. So again, if you want to take more time, you can definitely do that. I'm just going through this just for the sake of time. So as I mentioned, I want to be vulnerable. I want to be open with you guys, and I hope that's okay. You know, a lot of times when people see therapists and coaches, they think that they have it all figured out, and they don't. And I want to show you guys where I'm coming from, what I'm going through, to let you know that, hey, what you're thinking, what you're experiencing is quite normal, and we may actually share some of the same thoughts. And that goes to a big reason why I love the technique or the framework that I use, which is all about acceptance. Because the thoughts that you have and that I have, they're actually not the problem. The problem is what we do when they do come. So the first question, what beliefs about yourself may be holding you back in your career or in your business? So the first one I wrote was, will this work? That's a reoccurring thought that I tend to have. And it's okay that I have that thought. What I want to make sure that I don't do is allow this thought to stop me from taking action. Okay. So again, will this work? The second one, can I really make $1 million in a year? Because that's my goal. And it's not for any selfish reasons. It's really because I want to see what I'm capable of. I want to see what it's like to tap into my full potential. I truly believe this is why we love looking at people like Kobe Bryant. It's because he's one of the few people that we feel that they left it all on the table. There were no doubts, and he used every ounce of his body, every ounce of his soul, every ounce of his skill set that he was given from God or whoever you want to believe, right? So can I really make $1 million? And then the third one, will I have value to add to other high-level individuals? Because with the work that I do, it's not uncommon for me to run into people that are making multiple six figures, seven figures, or even eight figures, right? I haven't met anyone that has made nine figures. I think that will come. But a lot of the clients that I work with, they tend to be very high-level individuals. And as a result, I'm asking myself, can I bring them value? And what I've seen over the course of time is the answer is yes. Because if I wasn't, they wouldn't keep coming back. So that's the questions to that one, or that's the answers to that one. Now, let's go to the second one, right? The second question that I asked. So how do these thoughts hold you back? So the first one with the will this work? Obviously, I said I procrastinate, but more importantly, I do the safe work, right? I do the easy things. And I feel like that gives me the illusion that I'm actually progressing when really I'm just doing busy work, if you will. And that's a podcast episode that I believe I did. If not, I'll do another one where you want to make sure you're doing the real work. And I actually did do a podcast episode on that. I don't know the number, but it's Are You Really Working? I believe is the name of that episode. So I want to make sure that I'm really doing the true work. The next one, can I really make $1 million? Well, what I do when that question comes up, I say to myself, or really what I do is I question the information I receive, even from people that have made 7, 8, and 9 figures. Because these conferences that I go to, these coaching programs that I'm in, they're with high-level people that are making the 7, the 8, 9 figures, right? Making $1 million, 10 million, or 100 million plus. And they're telling me exactly what they did in order to become where they are, right? The millionaires and things like that. And I find myself finding questions or reasons why maybe it wouldn't work, right? And I shouldn't say because it's really my mind. My mind tries to tell me, this wouldn't work, that wouldn't work because of this and that and blah, 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 right? So these are the things that tend to get in my way, all right? Now, let's get into the last one. Think of a time when you successfully challenged and overcame a limiting belief. What steps did you take, and how can you apply those lessons to current beliefs that may be stopping your progress? Well, when I first started my business, it was really rough. It was really rough. And what I did during that time was I identified a target. There was a lot of things that I could have put my mind on. There's a lot of things I could have focused on. But what I did a great job of doing was picking one target. And for me, that was copywriting, meaning I had to learn the art of marketing. And I identified that target and I went after it without sweating the short-term outcome. I essentially let go of the end goal and just simply focus on the process. And that's exactly what I need to do when it comes to these other thoughts as well. So you guys have the answers, just like I have the answers, because we've done hard things before. And I want to show you guys that it is possible for you to overcome and execute on this next big goal that you have. So that is the answers to my first journal prompt. Again, you guys can go back and you can do that if you're listening while you're working out on the road or something else. All right. These next two, they're really quick, really simple. The second one you can write down at the top is for the title, celebrate your achievements. Okay. All right. The first one, list 3 recent accomplishments, no matter how small, that you've had recently. Okay. List 3 recent accomplishments that you've recently had, no matter how small, no matter how big. Okay. All right, another 10 seconds. All right. So for me, I wrote down my Facebook ad that I created with my coach. It converted at a really high rate, specifically 37%, where the average is normally around 10 to 15%. So I was basically twice as good as the average Facebook ad, if you will, which was great. That was really huge. The second one was building my new funnel. So if people want to work with me, what I'm doing now is I'm having them apply to work with me. It's no longer they could just reach out to me and get on the phone with me, but they have to submit an application because I now see myself as a very valuable coach, therapist, and as a result, I'm gonna value my time as such. So if you want to work with me, you have to complete an application. All right. And I just finished that funnel. And then the third one, which is a big one, I was able to buy a house for me and my family. And that says something because 2 years ago, I could barely afford my wife's wedding ring. And I really mean that. I mean, I was struggling so much that I had to put it on a credit card. And it wasn't a credit card that was a personal one, it was a business one. And that business is no longer alive, if you will, or whatever the term is. But the only reason I used that business credit card was because I had 4 more months of interest-free like payments, if you will. So I was like, all right, I got 4 months to figure it out. And I did, right? And I did that because I focused on that one target, as I mentioned in the previous journal prompt. So those are the first 3 for me. I want to know what the first or the 3 accomplishments for you guys were, and you could definitely type those in the comments. Now, the second part of this question is, how did these achievements contribute to your overall sense of confidence? Okay. So how did those 3 achievements that you just wrote down contribute to your overall confidence, if you will? So I'm gonna write that down. I want you guys to write this down as well. And by the way, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Okay, another 30 seconds. And again, you can definitely hit pause if you want to finish this later. So what does this do for my overall confidence? Well, for the first one, this showed me that I'm just as good as the high level individuals that I'm working with, but also that I'm receiving coaching from. So being able to see my ad do twice as well as the industry average showed me that, well, there's a good chance that I'm twice as good as what you call average, right? The people in my market. So that really did a lot for my confidence. Next, when it comes to building my new funnel, it shows that I can learn and implement versus just learning. Because what I've realized is that when I go to these conferences, maybe 80% of the people that are there that are learning, right, are not implementing. And only 20% of the people that have learned the information are actually implementing it. Meaning the competition that I'm facing isn't as big as I think that it is. And it's the same thing for you as well, whether it's be for your business or for your personal career. There are people that are not willing to learn the information that you've learned. But also, if they do learn the information that you learn, a very small percentage of them are actually going to implement the information that you all have just learned. Meaning, if you implement what you've just learned, you're already putting yourself in the top 20%. And there's a good chance you may be even putting yourself in the top 3% by executing it over a consistent period of time. And then the last one was buying my house. It shows that I can accomplish big things because living in South Florida, prices of houses are huge. It costs a lot to live in South Florida. So that was big for me. Very big, very big. All right. And then the last one, guys, you can title this one strategic goal setting, okay? Strategic goal setting. So what we're going to do is we're going to define one specific personal or professional goal you want to achieve in the next 3 months. And the reason why I say 3 months is because it forces you to create a goal that isn't too big, but also that isn't too small. And it makes you have to focus, right? Because 3 months is going to come and be here before you know it. So you have to be very intentional. You're not going to put this on the back burner. Once you have that goal, we then are going to break down the goal into actionable steps and outline a timeline for each of these. All right. So ask yourself, what is the first step that you need to accomplish? And then when do you want to complete it? All right. So we're going to take 3 minutes to do this. So I'll read this again. Define one specific personal or professional goal that you want to accomplish in the next 3 months, and then break down that goal into actionable steps and outline a timeline for each of them. All right, take maybe another 30 seconds, okay? So, what is the goal that you want to accomplish, whether it's professional or personal? All right, and this is in the next 3 months. And then write down the steps and put a date by the steps of the actions that you need to take in order to accomplish this goal. And if you could come up with, let's just say 3 steps, that's fine. If you come up with more, that's great. All right. So here's my goals. And again, this is because I want to be vulnerable. I want to be open. I want to let you guys inside my world, okay? And again, I would love to hear what you guys have to say by just commenting some of the things that you wrote in your journal entry in the comments. So for me, my goal for the next 3 months, I want to have at least 30 members in my membership, okay? So I'm creating a mental health membership for working professionals and entrepreneurs, where I'm gonna teach you guys mental health strategies to help you to build your confidence so that you can perform better in each of these areas, right? And actually, not just your professional or your business or in your profession, but even in your personal life as well. Now, the 3 things that I need to do is finish my free offer by January 20th, complete my Facebook ads by January 20th, and then last, I need to identify what I'm going to put in this free offer, okay? So those are the things that I need to implement. And these are the 3 journal prompts that are going to help you to improve your execution. The reason why I wanted to do this is because, again, a lot of times we believe that if I just think about it, right, if I just reflect on things, that's good enough. Well, if you write things down, it makes it very hard to ignore it when you come back to it. It makes it real, okay? So I want to go over these 3 journal prompts over with you guys one more time. So the first one is all about identifying limiting beliefs. So what beliefs about yourself may be holding you back in your career or your business? How do they hold you back? And then think of a time when you successfully challenged and overcame a limiting belief. What were the steps that you took, and how can you apply those lessons to the current beliefs that may be stopping you? Number 2, celebrate achievements. So list at least your 3 recent accomplishments, no matter how small they are, and then speak about how these accomplishments actually added to your overall sense of confidence. And then number 3, strategic goal setting. Define one specific goal, whether it's professional or personal, that you want to achieve in the next 3 months. Then I want you to break down these goals into at least 3 actionable steps, and then outline these steps so that way you know exactly what you need to do and then when you need to do them by. All right. These journal prompts, they will help you to improve your overall execution. So this is Coach Wells. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast, you're definitely missing out. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you later.